Hello, and welcome to the Thyroid Warrior Podcast. I'm Ebony, and I'm here as your wellness facilitator. I'm going to be sharing my experiences in managing Hashimoto's disease. I really hope that it'll help you on your personal journey. Keep in mind, however, this does not substitute for medical advice. It is only for your information and motivational purposes only. Now, let's get started. Hello, friends. Today we are going to talk about choosing your words. Now, you may hear that phrase and think, oh, choosing my words, what? I'm not talking about having conversations with other people. I'm talking about the words that we choose to say to ourselves. And we're continuing on in this journey of really and truly looking at us and our self-value and our self-worth. And another reason why this series is so important to me is because I have noticed this for myself, as well as a lot of other women that I have been speaking to as it relates to body image in the pandemic world and looking at everyone else and thinking that someone else is doing better than us, when in reality, we're actually someone else's quote unquote ideal. And I really want to face this head on because I think that it is something that I have struggled with, as I said, and I want to talk about it. And it's really important to me that you recognize your value and your worth as I see it, because I think you're incredible. And it's really important as we step into National Nutrition Month, as well as Autoimmune Disease Awareness Month for March. And food is triggering for a lot of us. Having an autoimmune disease is triggering. And when other people really don't know, nor do they understand what both of those things and how those things can have an impact on us as people, I think that this is why it's so important to have community and why it's so important for us to support each other as it relates to this journey that we're currently on. So here are 3 things that I want you to remember for today. The first thing is I need you to affirm yourself every day. I don't care if you quote unquote don't believe it or don't think that you're amazing. But I need you to walk in front of a mirror and say, I am strong, I am beautiful. And I want you to smile after you say that, because it's so important for you to get used to hearing those things about yourselves. And as Cardi B says in her song, when she walks past the mirror, she goes, ooh, I'm fine. I need you to start saying that to yourself as well. Okay. I don't care if you feel like you have weight to lose or weight to gain. I really don't care. I want you to see that you are magical, you are marvelous and magnificent. And you need to start saying those words back to yourself because you deserve it. You are currently going through your body attacking you, you're not feeling well, and the world is constantly telling us, especially as women, how we're not enough, and I refuse to let that be our narrative any longer. The second thing that I would like for you to know, recognize, and understand is that you are one incredible and powerful being. And there are things that you have to manage as a result of having a thyroid disease or an autoimmune thyroid disease or autoimmune condition or just life in general. There are things that you have to work through more than someone else that doesn't have this condition. And that's hard. And as an example, I felt really good yesterday. I may or may not have went a little overboard as it relates to exercise, but I'm also just loving on myself and really and truly working on understanding my value, but also because in preparation for my free 14-day challenge that starts on Monday, March 8th, you can join me at joyfulebony.com/plants. Wanted to say that before I forgot, but I get a natural buzz off of eating plants. And that's vegetables and fruit and all those things, which as an aromatherapist, it just really and truly takes me off on a tangent because I finally understand how amazing food is, and those common cliches that we often hear about food is fuel. I was like, yeah, whatever, right. But it wasn't until I realized the benefits and difference that my body has whenever I consume these things, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm sold. You got me. Cool, no problem. But I felt really good yesterday. Today, not so much, because I was so buzzed and because I did have all that energy. It was hard for me to sleep. And then I go back and forth of just kind of thinking through like, man, this really sucks. I'm in my home with me, my thoughts, and myself. And that's hard too, especially someone that is currently divorced and I don't have family and friends that are close to me. So that also adds an extra layer of, am I really good enough? And I'm being honest, like I have no problem being forthcoming with you. You know how I am. I have cried with you. I have laughed with you, and we get each other. Okay. We get each other. It's cool, but it's hard. And a lot of people, if they haven't gone through that, don't get it. So having those days where you feel really good and those other days when you don't feel so good, it's okay. Which kind of leads me into my third thing, and that is being okay with the fact that not every day is going to be great, and you don't have to wait for the other shoe to drop. You don't. You really, really don't. Enjoy the good days that you have. Enjoy those days when you have a lot of energy and just be thankful for them. And I had to learn that when I have those moments, sometimes I get really emotional thinking about it. And thankfully, Facebook Memories helps me to kind of humble myself again and really appreciate how far I've come, because I used to write on my wall how terrible I felt. I mean, I was young and immature, and there are some things that I'm very grateful for Facebook Memories. And there are other times I was like, But in this case, I'm reminded of how far I've come. So if you haven't gotten into this habit, grab a journal. I have my gratitude journal as well. And what I do is I kind of look at those questions and I say, okay, Ebony, what are you feeling today? What are you grateful for? And having those questions to kind of ponder really and truly helps, because I don't get lost in my thoughts. And it's really cool to kind of process through that as well. And writing helps me to get that energy out. So if you're someone that maybe has a hard time saying those affirmations to yourself, why don't you write them down? If you're a painter, paint something that brings you joy. If you are a singer, turn on some music, or better yet, get your own composition and just write it out, because I know how creative you are. But what are those ways that you express yourself? And that use that as a way to affirm yourself. So I wanted things to be short and sweet today, mostly because for me, it doesn't take a lot to remind you of how amazing you are. So I wanted to just come in real quick, remind you, adjust your crown, and then I'll be back next week. So again, as a reminder, I have a free 14-day plant-based challenge that is starting on Monday, March 8th. You can sign up at joyfulebony.com/plants. And then, as I mentioned, I have my gratitude journal. You can go to joyfulebony.com/journal. And if you are on my email list, you are going to be getting a copy of my health journal that I have finally been able to sit down and put together. So if you're not on my email list, head over to joyfulebony.com/email and make sure you're signed up for that so that you can get that sneak peek. But in the meantime, be happy, be whole, and be well. Take care. Okay, thyroid warriors, get out there and take things one step at a time. Remember, be great, reflect on your triumphs, and as always, be well. Take care.